Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading for the week. Oh, no, this is for your November bonus reading for November 2025. You have this message in a bottle card and this flexible card. The message in a bottle card, it's almost like I feel like there's something you need to explore. It's funny you have the Page of Swords here, which wants you to be curious, It's like sometimes I feel with that message in a bottle card, it's almost like there is, like a recipe for your success. And there you go. My brother is texting me as I'm saying that. So I feel like that's confirmation for you, Aries. It's almost like there is a little bit of a recipe that you have to break out of. It's almost like you have to, break open that bottle to get the recipe for success. And, we are in a time of flexibility where we have to be flexible to, accomplish things or, and how we, kind of accomplish things is what I'm trying to spit out here. So, I would just say that all of us, I think, are working on things in life right now. And how we get to the finish line might look different than what is going on in our heads. And we just need to be flexible enough to follow through and get to the end. You start here in we're doing a Celtic cross, so the first card is how you enter into the reading. And the Eight of Cups can be about walking away from things that no longer serve you. It's kind of funny, I do feel like you've maybe finally made a decision pretty recently that you're going to be walking away from something that no longer serves you. He has these 8 cups behind him. And so those 8 cups, they do provide him with something, but it's just not enough. He knows he would be settling if he stayed in this situation. So there's something in that for you, Aries. I do feel this reading is asking you to not settle for less than you deserve. I feel like it is asking you to kind of like branch out. I think it's time for everyone to branch out in new directions. And, that doesn't mean, like I've said, that you have to quit what you're doing right now. But what it does mean is that you have to take it to the next level or evolve what you're doing, because I just feel like there's more. That's really it. I don't think, this is about materialism or anything like that. But, I'm a big believer that we should grow as much as possible. If we're capable of doing something, we probably should. And, I feel like that's what this reading is saying. It's like saying you're capable of more, so why not? Your crossing energy is the Page of Swords. I do feel like a little bit more curiosity with the flexible card and that message in a bottle card for sure. It's like I think you need to be flexible and curious about how you accomplish what you're trying to accomplish right now. And it's like it's almost like you're calculating your next move here, Aries. I feel this is a good thing, by the way. I don't feel this is really a bad thing or a challenge or anything. It's almost like this reading is saying that you're being prepared for all the Aries energy that we're going to feel by February of next year. Neptune and Saturn move back into your sign. Neptune in January, and of course Saturn at the end of February. And so I feel a lot of you are just being prepared for the energy that's coming in. And I would, I think thinking and planning and researching with the Page of Swords would be an excellent idea, especially about whatever your next moves are going to be. I think it's a great time for experimentation as well. So, again, if you're thinking about branching out is kind of how I see it for you, then I would be experimenting with those branches, right, and trying new things. Next, in the area of what's on your mind, you have the Queen of Wands, which again is a very good energy for you, Aries, for sure, especially in the area of your mind, because the Queen of Wands, she needs to be bold, assertive, and confident, but she has a direction. She has this sunflower right here, and the sunflower points towards the sun. So it's like maybe, even if you're saying right now, today is November 2nd, so you might not be feeling this immediately in the month of November, but I do feel as we move throughout November that you're going to almost feel the direction that you're supposed to move in, or what you're supposed to be doing, or what you're supposed to be working on. I also do feel like you're not caring what people think, which is a good thing with the Queen of Wands. She has this black cat right here, and the black cats during the times of tarot were considered very unlucky. And the whole point of the black cat is she doesn't care what anyone thinks. She just likes the black cat. So, I feel for a lot of you that, this could be you not caring what people think about what you're doing. And, obviously that's probably a good thing. I think all of us probably, let people control our lives a lot more than we think. But maybe this month you're not. And like I said, that is good. Next, in your foundation, you have the Ace of Swords, which is also amazing. The Ace of Swords is a victory. It can represent overcoming an obstacle. The sword is above the mountains here, so that's the part of the card that represents overcoming an obstacle. It can represent making a sacrifice or cutting something out of your life as well. And you have the Eight of Cups, so like I said, I feel some of you are letting go of things that you used to hold on to, or you're just choosing not to settle for less in your life, and obviously that will be a good thing. I do feel like some of you could be thinking about letting something go. It's like something that you own, it's like maybe you're wondering if you should, sell an extra car that you have, or, could be an extra house, I suppose, or something like that. I feel like you are going to do that, by the way, just so you know. I don't know, it's popping into my head. Like, if you have something extra that you don't use or you don't need, I do feel that you are going to decide to, sell it off or give it away or whatever. And I feel it will kind of like lighten the load a little bit for you here, Aries. And, I think you'll see it as a good thing. Basically, I don't know. This might only be for like one or two of you, but I feel like you're trying to make a decision on something, and I feel it would like lighten the load, like I said. Next, in the area of your past position, you have this despair card. It says adversity, excessive stress, sadness, suffering, sleepless nights, failure, tortured with worry and fear. You have a sweetheart card. It says in love, sweetness, mutual feelings, devoted, good intentions, innocence, love is in the air, and affection. So, some of you maybe have had difficulties in past connections. You have the star here as well, which would represent healing. So you could be healing from those difficulties or letting those difficulties kind of go. And obviously that would be a good thing. I do feel like a little bit of new love here. We don't really see a lot of people yet. I mean, yeah, you have the Queen of Wands, you have the Page of Swords and the King of Swords and the Hermit, but I don't, I feel like those are more cards that are about you, Aries, not so much like a person. But I still feel that this, even though it's showing up in the past position, I feel like a much stronger connection could be coming in the future. You also have the star card in the past. The star is like healing. It kind of just says you've completed your healing here, Aries, and it's time to, move forward. So I like to see that. One other thing that I would say is, like, if you're going to commit to something, it's like, I don't know. This is just popping into my head here, Aries, that you need to avoid like the start, stop type of thing, right? I think it would be better, like, if you were writing a book, right? It's like, a lot of people used to ask me about this. This is why I always use books as an example. It's like, maybe you start and you write like 10 pages a day and then you quit. I think it would be better for you to just commit to like one sentence a day, or a paragraph, right? Like something small, because then you'll stick with it. I feel you would actually complete whatever the star is. The star is having a North Star. It is having a specific goal in mind, something that you want to accomplish. It is your guiding light. Some of you, I feel, actually could be discovering a guiding light this month because you have the Hermit at the end. We'll talk about that in a minute. But again, if you have been missing that inspiration, or if you've been missing that thing to work towards, I feel you could be discovering something as well. But I also think you can create this, right? I think you could say to yourself, like, I need to do this one small activity every single day, and I think that kind of commitment would really make you successful. Next, in the area of your very near future, you have this dagger. It says conflict and danger lie in wait. You have this golem card. It says a close friend acts on your behalf. So I wouldn't even worry about it, right? If you are worried that people are going to stab you in the back or anything like that, I feel that you are basically protected. I do also feel that this could be more mental. There's a lot of things that have happened this year that I think could be making people think that people are doing things behind their back or causing a problem. The big one is we had Mars retrograde at the beginning of the year in Leo. And I always say that, as far as I'm concerned, Mars retrograde years, it's like the whole year, can kind of cause those issues or those thoughts in our heads, and especially in Leo. So, what I would say here is that, some of those worries might not be something that you even have to worry about, but I also feel like you're protected. You have the Wheel of Fortune, which is very good. The Wheel of Fortune can represent a change in your fortunes, of course, or a shift in your fortunes. I kind of do feel luck here as well for you, Aries, which is interesting because we're not necessarily in a lucky time. in the middle of the month, we're going to have Uranus go retrograde into Taurus. It's retrograde in Gemini right now. The thing about Uranus and Taurus is it's not lucky. I literally said years ago, you can go back to my old lives, I used to say this all the time, that we would see record high lottery numbers, for example, because Uranus and Taurus does not like get rich quick. Uranus and Taurus wants us to, it's not that it's not lucky, it's Uranus and Taurus wants us to do things that put us in lucky situations. It's like, obviously, if you have a skill, if you use that skill more, then you have a better chance of getting lucky, right? But I do feel just like regular old luck coming in off of this Wheel of Fortune for you here, Aries. So I would, any opportunities that look like something that could make you lucky or could increase your luck, I would take advantage of those lucky opportunities, especially with that and the star. Next, in your outcome row, you have this confront card. It says assertion, self-confidence, and shadow. You have this driving card. It says autonomy, direction, and responsibility. Yeah, I feel, star, ace of swords, Wheel of Fortune even. These are cards of picking a direction and sticking to that direction, not getting off the road, seeing something through to the end. And, this has been a big theme for people at the end of the year here. I really feel it's because it's been kind of like a slow year where it's like things just maybe have been behind or, maybe things feel like they're behind. And I do feel the universe is giving people the opportunity to get something done at the end of the year and big, not something small. This is our last chance with Neptune and Pisces. So, Neptune and Pisces really wants us to accomplish the impossible, and we don't have to be perfect. We only have to take the first step to get started on that journey. And if we just take the first step, even next year when Neptune goes back into Aries, it doesn't matter. As long as you got started now, then you will carry yourself through that period of time, and you'll probably accomplish something that seems impossible. So that's what I would do here. Next, in the area of the next few months, you have the Two of Pentacles. I feel pretty good about this. I feel like you're going to be very busy. Definitely when Saturn enters back into your sign, I think that will make you very busy as well. There's several other things that I think will make Aries very busy over the next few years, not even just, this short period of time. And so I think there's just general busyness going on for you. It feels good to me because I feel like you feel excited with that Queen of Wands. I don't know. I just get a certain level of excitement coming off of her on that card. And, I think when we work on something that actually works, then we get excited to do it more. And that is kind of the feeling I get with the Two of Pentacles. It's almost like you're discovering something to work on, or a new habit or a new idea that just inspires you, which is you definitely need with Neptune in your sign, for sure. And, the whole thing about Neptune in Pisces especially is that if we're not inspired to do something, we're going to really struggle. If we're inspired, if we do things out of inspiration, then, things will go very well. And so I feel good about this Two of Pentacles. Like I said, I don't really have no complaints here, Aries. Next, in the area of your closest relationships, this is all relationships in your life. You have the King of Swords. You could be attracting like an older person or a more mature person with the King of Swords, or someone who, is very wise, which I think would be good if you're looking for love. The King of Swords can be a little bit hard to read, but sometimes, I'll just tell you what I'm feeling here, Aries, is like sometimes I feel the King of Swords can be a person who's like a little bit of a wounded animal. It's like they're not a bad person or anything like that. They just, it's like you might just notice some wounds, right? And again, I don't think we should be healing anyone. Most of us can barely heal ourselves, including myself, right? So it's like, I don't think we should heal anyone, but what I will say is I do feel that you might, kind of like soften this person up. So if you're looking for love, it could be a person like that. Like I said, I feel like they're a good person, and, everything will be fine. Also, showing up in the area of your closest relationships, I think that we are in the time of the mentor. And King of Swords is the mentor. And it could be any gender, right? The King of Swords could just be a person that that knows more than you about something. And so I think we are in the time of the mentor, and I encourage everyone all the time to find a mentor. It could even be a person who's dead, right? There are mentors I have on YouTube that are dead. I just watch their videos, right? So I think learning from people who are smarter than you about whatever it is that you want to accomplish would be good. Next, in the area of your future feelings, you have the Justice card. You could be feeling very balanced this year. I feel like saying this year, not even this month. I feel like from now until the end of November, like, are things perfect? No, hell no. We're not in a perfect time. But, you could be feeling more balanced. It could also just be a focus for you, I feel, Aries, where if things are out of balance, you are going to have a very strong desire to bring them into balance. The Justice card is also about having a neutral perspective, which I think we all need to do right now. It's like Neptune and Pisces. Even though Neptune and Pisces is ending, I kind of feel like Neptune and Aries is worse. Neptune and Aries is like looking for a savior. And I think during Neptune and Aries, people are going to look for a person who has all the answers. But the problem with Neptune and Aries is it's like the mask is falling off. So people will realize that people that they thought were going to save them are not. We're already seeing this, right? It's like, I'm not political. I think they all belong in jail. I think they're all evil reptile aliens. So I'm a crazy person. There you go. And, it's like they all lie. It's like, I don't know how people don't see it, but it's like none of them do anything that they say, and they're all evil. They're all bought and paid for. So, there you go. I'm a crazy person. But what I would say here is that, I think we're going to see a lot of that. We already have seen a lot of these like promises fall through and, all this other stuff. So the thing about that is on a personal level, it's like we have to save ourselves, right? Right now. I said this at the beginning of Neptune and Pisces that, Neptune and Pisces and Neptune and Aries would be all about people realizing that they can, do more than they think. And they don't need permission, right? And so that's what I would be focusing on is making those changes and also like coming up with your own answers. Justice is about looking at things from a neutral perspective. It's not saying like, oh, this person's going to save me. It's about saying like, what do I think? How can I save myself, right? And I feel like you're doing this, Aries, which is good. Your outcome is the Hermit. Like I said, it's almost like you're discovering something to be passionate about. He has the star in his lantern right here. He's been through a dark night of the soul. He has been through something very challenging. And, this light is his inner light, but it is also the star. And I always say he needs to kind of shine that light out all over the place. He needs to kind of shine that light in the world. He needs to be an inspiration, right? And so I think that you focusing, especially next year with Neptune going into Pisces, but I would start now, don't wait. But especially next year, I would be doing things to be an inspiration. I tell everyone, Uranus and Gemini, right, is all about going against the grain and being willing to go against the grain. So there you go. With the Eight of Cups and the Page of Swords, you have the Judgment card. Yeah, Judgment can be like a wake-up call. I don't really feel this is like a big wake-up call. I think this is the Eight of Cups, you choosing not to settle. I feel like you might have a little wake-up call where you're like, oh, I'm settling for this. Or what I'm working on right now is settling, right? And I just feel it could be like a minor realization that you have. But I feel this is good, Aries, because I feel it's going to change your direction. It's like you're saying, oh, I could be getting more by branching out, like I said earlier, in my work. It's like you're doing something more. And, really, that's it. With the Queen of Swords, you have the Five of Swords. It's like could be a little bit of mental conflict because of the Black Cat on the Queen of Wands. Again, I really feel like after reading that Justice card, I really feel that this reading is saying you have to like march to the beat of your own drum. It's like there are going to be people that call you crazy, that are like, what the hell are you doing with your life? Or, again, going against the grain might mean that people disagree with you and everything. But, one thing I want to tell you is I think what we'll see a lot of in the future is people who are right. It's like, basically, if you're right, it's like you shouldn't try to fit in the first place, right? So I almost feel that Five of Swords is saying, like, don't try to fit in. Sure, we'll take both. With the Ace of Swords, you have the King of Wands and the Three of Cups. The King of Wands could be you. And also, we have divine counterparts now, King and Queen of Wands. Three of Cups could be like a celebration or a reunion. I don't think this is a past person, but I do feel some of you could be attracting like a past life person into your life. And so if you want love, then definitely a good love connection. I also think that the Ace of Swords is saying by focusing on what you want to accomplish, you will be having a celebration with that Three of Cups. With the Star, you have the Six of Cups. I think you're definitely healing something from the past. It's kind of weird. For whatever reason, I'm seeing this as an illusion, or something in your life, like almost like the Seven of Cups is an illusion. And this is, I read intuitively, so there you go. But, I feel like some of you could be realizing that something from the past was a lie or an illusion. But I feel good about it because I feel like you're finally like moving past it, or you have finally healed whatever that is. And it's allowing you to move forward now. And so I like it. Definitely good. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Nine of Swords. Yeah, any negative cycles that you're experiencing, I would remove those cycles. Nine of Swords is a never-ending nightmare. It's like having a nightmare, waking up, being stuck in a nightmare. It's like, don't take this the wrong way here, Aries, but I feel like if you keep doing what you've been doing, then, things are not going to change, is basically what this is saying. But if you just branch out a little bit, I feel like it will have a huge impact on what you're doing, It's like, I wish I had a good example for you, but I don't. It's like, but, especially in work or business, I feel this is saying you need to kind of branch out. That doesn't mean you have to quit your job, but maybe it means you have to learn a new skill, or maybe it means that you have to ask your boss for a raise or a promotion, or maybe you have to work differently, or maybe you have ideas already. I think you do, on how to work differently. And I feel like that branching out will have a big impact, and I feel you need to realize that. With the Two of Swords, you have the Queen of Swords, divine counterparts again. My problem with the King and Queen of Swords here, sorry, you can't actually see that. Let's move that up a little bit. My problem with the King and Queen of Swords is they don't see eye to eye. And so, again, I get this feeling off of that King of Swords that it could be a person who's like a little wounded or something like that. And, that might be something that you have to overcome if you're meeting a new person. But Queen of Swords is still good in the area of the next few months because she represents clarity. So, there's probably a lot of clarity coming in for you here. With the King of Swords, you have the Ten of Cups. Yes, so love. Ten of Cups is like fortune after difficulty, happy home, happy family, but it could represent a very strong connection with a person that you will be very happy with, could even have children with. So, I think it would be worth it. Like I said, I don't think this person's like a jerk or anything like that. I think you just notice, I think you will just notice moments where you can tell that they have been hurt or something like that. Like, is it really a bad thing? No. Like I said, I feel like this person is healed mostly and things like that. But, it just gives me, I feel like you will soften this person if you're attracting love. Let's put it that way. Here you go. With the Justice card, you have the Page of Cups. Could be it could be a freaking Libra is what I'm trying to spit out here. Libra, fire, all the fixed signs, Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, Leo, and Virgo stand out to me. But, it could be any sign, basically. But, this is coming up in the area of your future feelings. And the Page of Cups can be an admirer. So I feel you could fall in love with a person, literally, because it's coming up in the area of your future feelings. This can also be your dream. And like I said, with Neptune moving into your sign, and also with Neptune in Pisces, I would be doing anything you can to bring a dream down to earth. The Hermit wants you to do that. The Hermit is at the top of the mountain. He needs to come down from the mountain. This isn't accurate tarot, although I think it is. I think the Hermit's next steps are to come down into the world. When we think about the Hermit, I always think of the South Node in Virgo, which we have the South Node in Virgo right now. People who are born South Node Virgo, North Node Pisces, their karma, their past life was that they escaped to the top of a mountain to punish the world. They basically were hurt in the world, and they decided that they were going to hide everything from the world about them, or what makes them special, or what they have to contribute to the world, right? So their karma for people who are born with South Node Pisces, North Node Virgo, is they have to come down from the mountain and share. And so a lot of you might need to share by making your dreams real. Yes, with the Hermit, you have the Two of Wands. Yes, the Two of Wands, he has to leave a comfort zone, right? He's standing at the top of the castle, and he has the whole world in his hands. You have, I feel like I've said this to you in past readings, Aries, like you have the whole world in your hands, and maybe you don't realize it yet, but I think stepping out into the world and showing the world what you're made of is really what this is encouraging you to do, so that you can stand out, get attention, be successful for more, all that other good stuff. You have this younger woman card. It says dealings or relationships with a younger woman. You have the Sun card. It says happiness and well-being on it. I think there's a little bit of childlike energy in this reading for sure with the Page of Swords. I read the Page of Swords as the child, so I almost feel this is not like another person. And it doesn't matter what gender you are. I feel like this is just you kind of showing up in the reading. I feel like it's saying you need to be more childlike. You need to be more playful and have more fun. So and a lot of people have had this message this year. I think it's because the energy is too serious, and it's like the universe wants us to fill the world with more like love, joy, happiness, peace, good stuff. You have this desk card that says pay attention to your work. Yeah, I feel like you are, but I think this is saying pay attention to the branching out work. Like, what is the work that will actually bring you to the next level? And that's what I would focus on here. You have this crib. It says birth or conception of a child or an enterprise. Definitely could be love coming in for you. So if you want love, could be a very strong connection. You have this lightning card. It says control your anger or you will be sorry. Yes, definitely. Especially next year. Saturn in Aries is very loud. I would encourage you to be loud, but for the right reasons, right? No road rage, no none of that. Avoid that at all cost. You have this flag. It says, you cannot make this up. It says, do not be tempted to lower your standards. I have 8 of Cups. I feel like that 8 of Cups is saying, don't settle. I feel this is very similar. It's like saying, don't settle for less than you deserve. But this looks very good, Aries. I like this a lot. So make sure to leave a comment. Really helps me out. And definitely enjoy your month.